So let's talk about multi-tools that you can use with the Winton. Here's three good examples of multi-tools that we've tested. This is the True Utility TU15 or True Utility Nail Clip Kit. This is the SOG Crosscut, and this is the Gerber Dime. Each of these have a couple advantages and disadvantages. Big advantage for all of them, they're very small. As you can see, this is the Winton itself next to all of these, so they're tiny things. Throw them in your pocket, you won't even know that they're there. So we'll go through each of these one by one. Get these two off. The True Utility is the simplest one. It's got the two tools that you need. It has a pop-out nail clipper. That's good for cutting wire. It's a pretty good set of nail clippers. It does struggle with kind of heavier gauge wire. The blades do get a little bit marred up in time, but generally this will work. Then the other tool that it has that you need is a pretty good pair of scissors in here. So these are just your kind of common little tiny multi-tool screwdrivers. Again, this is not going to cut through your Scottish roll, but it is pretty good for snipping the ends of your wick after you've put them through your coil. Other than that, there's not much else to it. It's got a little flathead screwdriver with a file and a tiny knife. Not bad. The other nice thing with this one is it comes with this really cool sort of pelican style case, so that actually the Winton fits in there and you get two 30 milliliter unicorn bottles. Take that with you. Next up is the SOG Crosscut. It's all stainless steel. Big advantage with this one is scissors. It has an enormous pair of scissors on it. If you look at this in comparison to the True Utility scissors, wimpy, these are serious. Nice thick blades on these, really sharp. In addition, it's got actually this little screwdriver tool, which is actually really good as a screwdriver. It's also really good for kind of adjusting your wick and kind of picking things into place. It's got a pretty respectable little thing here and a nail file. Has a plastic toothpick if you get something in your teeth. And then kind of a blunt flat screwdriver here. It does have a pair of tweezers. They're kind of wide, as you can see, and flat, but they are pretty accurate, pretty strong. And then of course it has a relatively nice knife on it. The thing that's obviously missing from these is any sort of a nail clipper or wire cutter. I will tell you, these scissors will cut small gauge wire, 28, 26 gauge wire. It will just snip, go right through it. Bigger stuff you're going to struggle with, but if you build with lighter gauge wires, this is all you need. And then finally, we've got the Gerber Dime. Gerber Dime's actually got a lot of advantages for working with the with Winton. It has this beer opener that's always there. That's quite good. On the outside of it, you've got another small pair of scissors. These are bigger than the ones on the True Utility, and for their size, these are actually really sharp. You just kind of have to give them a few clicks and they will go through most cotton quite easily. On the other side, you've got sort of a flathead screwdriver and then a smaller flathead screwdriver. This will fit in some of your smaller Phillips and flathead screws on your build decks. The other side, you've got actually kind of a cool looking knife. And then this side, actually not vape related directly, but this little gizmo. So this is a retail package opener. So the idea is you pull this thing out and you dig it into the clamshell packaging for something you just bought, pull it down, and cuts it open. So maybe it's good for opening your vape mail. Now on the inside of the dime, we've got this pair of pliers. So this has sort of a point, kind of a wider area, and then it has wire clippers here at the back. And we'll show you one of the things that we can do is we can actually sharpen the end of the pliers to actually be pretty precise wire cutters. So when these get sharpened, they sort of begin to look like this, and that's actually really good for cutting wire. One more thing you'll find on the dime, which is pretty useful, it has a little pair of tweezers. They just slide out here. So you get a little pair of tweezers, which is pretty good for fine adjustments on your cotton, sort of picking up little tiny screws, whatever you need there, and those just slide back in. There we go. Oh, one more thing on the Gerber Dime. Gerber also makes a TSA approved version of the dime, so it does not have any knives. Instead of having a knife, it has an extra file. Instead of having the retail package opener, it has This gizmo, which they say is a zipper pull, it does still have the really nice pair of scissors, and also still has the pliers on the inside which you can sharpen. Alright guys, so that's it. So we've got Gerberdyne, SOG Crosscut, and True Utility. All of these super small, super cheap. I think any of these you can get for $15 to $20 online, readily available.